What is going on? Welcome to Heaven on Earth. I'm Michael, the Leo Mystic. This is where I channel the astrological guidance for the 5th of October until the 10th of October. We got some fair deal of Libra energy going on here, and it is quite intense with Venus and Scorpio. Let's keep it at that. Wednesday, by the way, I am doing a workshop together with my beautiful friend Kat Caitlin from As Above So Below. We'll be talking about the lunar nodes, the North Node through the signs on the 6th of October, the 20th of October. We also have a workshop on the North Node through the houses. The North Node is obviously your point of soul purpose, and tells you about what you need in order to grow emotionally, in order to grow spiritually, and that is what the soul wants to focus on in this life. So really very important part in your astrological chart. So check out, I'll put the link in the description below. And you also, by the way, there is a new moon spiritual guide, which is completely free for you to download. It's free for now. I will definitely the next editions will be paying. So go and check and take advantage of that spiritual guide. I put it in the link down below as well. All guidance on how to deal with this new moon and what to set as intentions. And I'll be talking a little bit about that right here, as a matter of fact. So we started the week with a dark moon in Virgo and Libra. And honestly, that dark moon is really about, now in Virgo, where do we feel alone? And aloneness does not necessarily mean sad or scared or whatever, just the awareness of, I have to do things on my own, because that's what Virgo is. And if you think about it, we have started in Aries, and that is the separation from God, from Source, to live this experience on Earth. And we start developing ourselves in Taurus and Gemini and start becoming more and more aware of our personal space and other people and our close environment and our home and our ego. And then Virgo starts deconstructing that ego and perfecting it, and comes to the realization that I have to do this on my own. But it is not, obviously that's not true in a way, because there's other people, and that's what we realize in Libra. But to a certain extent, even if you are aware of other people, there's always this aloneness that there is on Earth. You're always alone with your physical body, with your own thoughts. Now, obviously, the polarity of Virgo is Pisces, which is saying and realizing it's all connected. This is all an illusion, But dark moon in Virgo is going to bring up inner aloneness and where we have to do things on our own, and where, to a certain extent, we will always be alone. So that will come up. And that is obviously to clear. Wow, there's a shit ton of wind here. I hope the microphone is all right, that you can hear me well. So, new moon coming up in Libra. It's an air sign. It's a lot of wind. This new moon in Libra is quite special in the sense that it's conjunct Mars. It's inconjunct exact Uranus. It's opposite Chiron. It's semi-square Venus and Scorpio. Whew. That's going to be an intense month. And a month of growth. In what? Semi-square Venus and Scorpio. Whoa. Karmic relationships that pop up. People appearing. And that push your buttons. And where topics like sex, taboo, secrets are going to be challenging us, and where we have the opportunity to really go as deep as we can in what drives us in connecting with people, realizing How am I connecting with people? And Mars conjuncting that new moon gives drive, gives passion, gives lust, gives action. And we can move people. We can really like be there and like demand in a way. And that's going to lead to confrontations, the necessary confrontation, because not only the new moon semi-square Venus, but also Mars semi-square Venus. So this is tension, problems, issues with other people, with relationships, with money. Shared resources that cause an issue, cause a problem, pushing you out of your comfort zone to ask for help. And the opposition to Chiron is the inferiority complex, where we feel inferior to certain people, and where we like be submissive. We are submissive to some people, and where we shame, where we feel shamed, where we feel guilt, and where we are not able to do what we would like. Aries is about doing and action, and Chiron is the healing that has to occur there. So there is a certain kind of healing that has to occur by going through that initiation process of being your most self-confident in situations where you feel inferior. The semi-square of Venus is more like where you feel superior, right? I mean, obviously it could lead to other people demanding or other people like testing you, but there's always going to be a certain kind of confrontation that's going to bring with. And so the question here is, and I put it in my spiritual guide as a very important question of analysis. Where do you feel superior? Where do you feel inferior? And who is your equal? What does it mean to be equal? That's what the intentions are really for this new moon in Libra. Is like, how can we be each other's equal? Can you see that the other person is your equal, even if you have a lot of differences? It balances out. And that in and of its own, or that alone, can bring peace, can bring harmony. And that's the goal of this new moon in Libra. How can you bring more peace into your life? What are the standards of your peace? How can you reach it, bring it into your daily life? Now that inconjunct to Uranus in Taurus says that we will have confrontations between what I find important inside of me, finding it important, for instance, to have sun and warmth, but the outer value, which is what Libra is that it's raining, is that it is cold. So there's a conflict between what I want, my inner value, which is what that semi-square of Venus is too, like the value and the things that you are sending out. There's a tension there. So there's a tension between the inner world and the outer world, and it's causing friction, it's annoyance, or it's annoying, and it requires an adjustment. An adjustment always, obviously, from ourselves, from responsibility. To, like, for instance, and it's a very simple example, but I want you to reflect on, or just look and observe where those conflicts happen in your life between your inner values and what happens in your external environment, and causes friction, tension, annoyances. And where you have to take responsibility and say, well, in my case, we're here, we've chosen to be here, even if sometimes you don't want to be here, right? You'd rather be in my case, in Spain, in the heat and the warmth, but there is a certain part there where inside of me, things that, where I have a son and where I have a wife and who really wanted to come and give birth here, and where I decided, yes, let's go do that, I support that, But still, in my case, maybe where I haven't fully committed to do that, because there's parts of me that want to go to Spain, which is very normal. You can't always like get what you want, I guess. But and that's the same for you. That's I just giving my example here so you can have a clear understanding what I'm saying, and also see that this is happening also in my life. It's happening in everybody's life. So those annoyances, those adjustments that need to happen have to come from inside. A certain kind of and it has to do with what brings you what brings peace in your life, and how can you bring peace in your life that is not necessarily opposite Chiron the way you want it, but it's like Chiron in Aries opposite that new moon. What do you have to do? What action do you have to take? Initiate something new and new experiences so that you can bring peace into your life. Semi-square Venus, what resources do you have to gather? And Mars conjunct, like, go now, motherfucker, do it. And this, the inconjunct to Chiron too is gonna bring surprises, unexpected events that always, Uranus and Taurus, which is about resources as well, about food, about money, about your values, and that will trigger growth. That is for this new earth too. Your personal experience contributing to the bigger picture, to the whole. So, and for that, it's really simple. You have to live your truth. And the truth is living in the moment and seeing what happens. And respond to it accordingly. Allowing to happen what has to happen, even if it's frustration. But, the other day I bought the book Learned Optimism. I read it like 6 years ago, but I bought it for someone I really care about, someone I really love. But it reminded me that optimism, is something that is learned, and that is how you respond to something and not what happens to you, And that kind of is what astrology is. Astrology is, here's the energy, and it will happen. But what can you create with it? You're not a slave. You can respond to it, and because of it, alter the chemistry, alchemy. That's what alchemy is. It's changing a process. So here's to bringing alchemy into your life in relationships, because that's what new moon in Libra is really about. And to reach out, to listen. That's why in the spiritual guide, which you can download for free this month, it's really the one of the meditations is to sit in front of your partner, look the person into his or her eyes without judgment, being there, and just see the real soul, see the heart of that person, and see what comes up without having to act on your impulses. And that pretty much sums up the whole new moon in Libra energy. So take a moment to be with someone, to really look into his or her eyes, even if it is for just 15 seconds, without judgment, and to observe and see what that person reflects back to you, and what alchemy could be created. Much love. See you next week. Bye-bye.